Hello and welcome back to HR Horrors. I'm George Akel from GOVERNHR. Before we start our video today, I'd like to encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you get the latest videos when they're out. And we've got some really exciting stuff coming up, including interviews with subject matter experts who are absolutely brilliant in their field. And we've also got some risk matrix reviews coming up as well. So please do subscribe and please do click the like at the end of the video. Now today we're going to talk about Lucky Jan. Now Jan worked for an organisation for many years. She worked for an organisation for over 25 years, and the time had come for Jan to move on. And as the payroll team put together Jan's calculations for her farewell and provided to her to review, Jan was a bit surprised to see the significant amount of annual leave that she had on her termination pay. So Jan questioned that at first and asked them to have a look at it again, because she was certain that she didn't have that much leave at all. She was under the impression that she had a week or two, but this was really significant. So the group checked again and came back to her and told her that that's exactly what's in the system, and that's what she's being paid. Anyway, Jan was paid out and she left the organisation, but it continued to bother the head of HR as to why someone would be so adamant that the leave that they were being paid, which was significantly higher than the leave that they'd expected, and why they would argue the point if it wasn't the case. I mean, always someone would argue for more money, but for someone to argue for less money left the head of HR scratching their head. So the head of HR had a chat to debrief at the end of the month with the management group there within the HR management group, and spoke to the payroll manager and asked again about this weird situation with Jan and why she'd pushed back so much. The payroll manager was relatively new, had only been in the job for 2 years, so didn't really have much of a background, but there was one individual who had been there for a very long time, and this individual finally put their hand up and gave what they thought was the explanation. As it turned out, about 15 years earlier, the organisation had moved from one payroll system to another payroll vendor payroll system. At that time, Jan had left her home location for secondment in another part of the group, at which time Jan was paid out all her leave entitlements. But what had happened was this individual, who was effectively whistleblowing now, said that all the data hadn't been migrated from the old system to the new system. So effectively, transactions that occurred during that time frame between the integration of the new system weren't captured completely and transferred into the new payroll system. Therefore, things that had happened, for example, Jan's payment of her leave on secondment, weren't captured in the new system. So it carried over her leave balance. Now, the individual then said that at the time, the head of HR had been alerted, not the current one, but a previous one, had been alerted to this breakdown, and it was agreed that they would fix up what was tax related, what they thought was relevant at the time, and didn't go too further into it. So it was a very hodgepodge process. And at the end, Lucky Jan was very lucky, How many other people were very lucky? How many other people were unlucky? That is, they'd received an increase or something like that that hadn't been transferred into the new system and were let go and underpaid. Now, what are the lessons to learn from this? Whenever you're migrating a system, be it a payroll system or an HR system or an accounting system, you always need to ensure, when working with the new vendor and with the old vendor, that there is an agreed methodology and process that is auditable, is manageable, and is transparent for transferring the data from one system to the other at all costs. That is imperative. Generally speaking, it's best to transfer to a new vendor at the end of the financial year, the beginning of the new financial year. So the amount of data you need to transfer to a new system is relatively based on historical data rather than current transactional data. Now, that's important, and any payroll vendor out there worth their money would be absolutely on top of that, no question asked. You need to make sure that your people, when they're working on a transfer of systems, are on top of that as well. Now, the checklists here are to ensure that static data is transferred, to ensure that any current transactional data is transferred, that there is a reconciliation between the two systems before you go live, and that any data that's not able to be migrated, for example, you've got some proprietary information in one system that you've built yourself, for example, and any new payroll system is not capable of taking on this data, that you store this data somewhere that's secure, protected for data privacy, secured by password, backed up regularly, and is accessible, either via soft copy, printouts, etc. And that's maintained for the full length of the requirements by law or by your organisation's data retention policy, whichever is the greatest. Now at GOVERNHR, we've had extensive experience again on transferring HR systems, compensation systems, performance systems and payroll systems from old to new, from in-house to external, from in-house or external to outsource and to centralizing. So we've had extensive experience with that. We've got great experience in auditing data flows and auditing the movement of data across platforms. So don't forget to please subscribe below to get the latest videos when they're released. Like this video if you do like it. Check out our website. Leave a comment below, drop us a line, or apply for your obligation-free and cost-free HR health check. No cost for you, only benefits and only upside. Thanks again for watching. Cheers.